Here are the section 5.2 notes, still power functions. This is page 3. And let's get smart and turn this sideways so you see it bigger. So the leading term test, that's the A, or in our quadratic, or the A sub n if we are talking about a power function. Officially in the quadratic it would be A sub 2. So it is the number, the coefficient attached to the variable with the highest power. So let's get that in here. Coefficient attached to the variable with the highest power. And we're going to look at two situations with two possibilities. So we are going to start by talking about the degree of the polynomial. The degree can either be even or odd. Keep in mind that degree is our highest power. And so what we are looking at is the coefficient attached to that variable with the highest power. Okay? If we are talking about an even function and our leading coefficient is greater than 0, so it's positive, that means both ends of our function are going to point up in the positive direction. You noticed I left a blank in the middle? This is the end behavior. This is x gets really, really big or goes to infinity on the right end, or as x gets really, really small and goes to negative infinity. This is what the ends of the graph are doing. If our leading coefficient is less than 0, that means it's negative. Both ends point down. Again, we're not so worried about what's going on in the middle, just end behavior. If the highest power is odd, if this is an odd degree function, and our leading coefficient is positive, it's going to go up to the right. Think about attaching the endpoints. The slope of that line would be positive. That's how I remember it. If our leading coefficient is negative, again, our ends are going the opposite directions, but it's going down to the right. Okay. Here's how we use that. And if you want to give this a shot, this would be a great time to pause the recording, come back in, well, whenever you get this done, and compare your answers. Okay. So for A, the degree is odd. Well, we're going to just leave that the same. My highest power is 3. Okay. That means my highest power is 3. It's odd, so I know both ends are going opposite directions, and my leading coefficient is 1. It's 1 times x to the third, which means my function's going up to the right. Again, don't care what's happening in the middle, just up from left to right. B, again, I have that odd leading coefficient, but now I have this negative, I have an odd degree and a negative leading coefficient. Sorry, I am just getting over being sick and still having trouble with my thoughts. Which means both ends are going in the opposite direction. That's because of the odd degree. And it's going down from left to right because of the negative leading coefficient. So on C, I have an even degree. My highest power is even, and it's negative. Even means both ends are going the same direction. Negative means both ends are going down. And our last one. I have an even degree. This is actually a quadratic. And a positive leading coefficient. I know that means both ends of my quadratic are going up. Okay. So let's see if we can put that together, use this information, and graph. And we're going to kind of preview something here we're going to see in a minute. Notice, I have two zeros. I got x minus 1. That happens over and over and over. And then I have an x plus 2. So I know my zeros are at -2 and +1. My leading coefficient is positive, and this is a 4th degree polynomial, right? I've got 1, 2, 3 degrees here. I got 1 degree here, so I have x happening 4 times. I know both ends are going up. Okay. The kicker here is that this x minus 1 to the 3rd should probably really be on the next page, because it is going to go up on both ends. Here's what we have. If I want to be more precise, I can figure out what happens when x equals 0. I get 5. 0 minus 1 is -1. 0 minus 1 is -1. 0 minus 1 is -1. 0 plus 2 is 2. Right? That just came from right here. I get 5 times -1, -5 times -1 is +5, times -1 is -5 again, times 2 is -10. So at 0, I got -10, something way down here. So we're going all the way down, and something a little different happens. We're not really worried about hitting -10 because I didn't leave enough room there. This is going to cross, so this goes up. It's also going to flatten out a little bit because that 0 happens 3 times. And we're going to talk about this a little more on the next page. Again, this recording is done. If I struggle to get this recording to shut down, you are welcome to go ahead and close it down now.